My name's Lamon. I'm an alcoholic. And I actually enjoyed the drive down here. I live in Cary, actually, something my wife had kind of decided for me. I like living in the country, and I'm living in like a concrete jungle, man. I can't go outside and pee off my own porch, that kind of thing. And, I had to get rid of my dog because he was too loud. I just got a lot of stuff going on that ain't really my style in Cary. Cary's, I don't know, man. It's like people are running around there with like tights, and actually it's a law that you got to wear a bicycle helmet there. I mean, they'll pull you over and give you a ticket if you're riding a bicycle without a helmet. Anyway. I don't know if I'm a good speaker or not, but what I try to do is get up here and say something that'll help somebody else, because that's where it's at for me. I've been sober for like almost 7 years now, which is a damn miracle. And, I just never thought I was going to get sober. And I was one of those guys, man, I'd be in the Burger King bathroom lighting it up going, how in the hell am I going to quit this? And, I come from a long line of alcoholics. My dad's an alcoholic, my grandma's an alcoholic, my grandfather's an alcoholic. I got a bunch of alcoholics because I can just tell you, I'm not up here by mistake. I'm right where I belong. And, 7 years ago, I had come to the point where I was willing to go to any length to get sober. But before that, I had picked up probably 1,000 white chips. I mean, I was just coming in and out because I just couldn't get sober. And I just wasn't ready to get sober. I'd get sober about 30 days here. There's a big party down there at Riceville Beach. But I was, I guess I might pick up another white chip after this weekend. And I'd go down there and start drinking and partying and doing what I do. Because, see, I loved it. I love partying, man. I love cold Budweisers, man. You pick them up out of the cooler there and they just got that glisten to them, And then that led me to some places, man, that were absolutely just disgusting. You walk into a house and it smells like dog pee and cat pee and, diapers all. It got bad. But y'all going to be able to tell by the end of this meeting tonight that I got ADD and I got a lot of stuff going on that just, y'all just going to realize it. I'm just... Not, they can say, well, he's a good speaker. Psh. Yeah. But anyway, I guess I'll start with, I did the same thing y'all do probably. I was out there and I just got to the point where, it was controlling me and I thought I was controlling it. I mean, my story's full of, blackouts and jail and all kinds of stuff like that. But I tell you what I try to concentrate on is the solution. I think we all hear enough of what we've done, and that just doesn't seem to help people in my perspective from where I come from. I like to hear about, what happened to me when I got sober. And I'll never forget the day before I got an awakening, I guess you might say. I was in my apartment, and my kids I had full custody of my children then, and that's a long story because my ex-wife is an addict and had gotten them, but I would take them to my parents' house and I'd go party. And so it worked out pretty good because they lived right down the street, and I'd been partying for 3 or 4 days, and I was with this girl and we were getting ready to make a run to go get some cocaine, and I had this little dog. It was a blue healer. And the thing would chew up anything it got its hands on. So I had this little kennel that I'd put him in. So I put him in the kennel. We made a run, came back, and the dog had gotten out of that kennel. And I'm going to tell you what, man, he chewed up everything in that house. You could barely see the carpet. He chewed up the Monopoly set, the newspaper, my hunting magazines, the TV remote, everything. But I had the Bible, which my mom gave me, sitting right beside all that stuff. That dog did not touch that Bible. I was like, no, there ain't no way, man. What in the world's going on? And I'm telling you, there was like everything around it was chewed up. But the only thing that hadn't got chewed in that whole house was that Bible. And that's when I was like, what in the world is going on here? Because I started to believe in something that I had never believed in. There was something going on, because that just was too, it couldn't have been a coincidence, And so I was like, well, you kind of just, when you smoke a crack and drink a liquor, those kind of things just kind of go to the wayside, I was like, well, let's get busy, get back to what we do. And, but it never left me. It stayed with me. I always thought about it. It was like, it's just too much to believe. And 2 days after that, I'd come to the point where I had about an 8-ball of crack cocaine and a pint of moonshine. And that was what I liked to do. We all had these special potions. And that was my mixture, man. I love that, boy. I get those two combinations in a woman, and it was on. Because I was all about killing myself. You can believe that. I'm a self-destructive person. I would go out there, and man, I can tell you right now, there ain't nobody going out smoking out drink me. I'll die trying to beat you. And that morning, it was about 10 o'clock Sunday morning, and I had smoked all that crack, drank all that liquor, and it didn't do a daggone thing to me. I was just as sober as a church mouse, or so I thought. And I was so miserable, man. I had 357 in my bathroom sitting on the counter in there. Why it was in there, I have no idea. But I went in there and looked at it, looked in the mirror, and I was like, man, I'm just worthless. This is it for me. And I picked up that 357, I put it underneath my chin. I was like, and I thought about my children. I put it back down. I was like, I can't do this, man. I can't do this because of my kids. I couldn't do it because of them. And that's one thing I said, you know what? I'm done living this way. I am done living this way. And I went out there, and I picked up my phone, and I called my mom. I said, come get me. She said, oh, my God, what is it? And I was living in Wilmington at the time, and she was in Wake Forest. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't know how she did it, but she broke some speed records getting down there to me. I mean, she made it down there in an hour and 55 minutes. And I was like, good God, I wasn't quite ready for you to come that quick, Mom. I mean, damn. I was like, man, I tell you, I can't even breathe. I was just trying to get back from, all that stuff I had been doing. And she said, pack your bags, we're leaving. I was like, where are we going? And I was like, hang on just a second. Now, I ain't real sure about all this. And she said, you're not sure? And I thought about what I had just about done a few minutes ago. And I said, yeah, I'm sure. Let me get a bag. And we drove up to Wake County, the healing place of Wake County, what it was called then. And I'll never forget, it was November the 5th, 2010, my sobriety date. And she let me off there, and the guy that was there had to just about push her out the door. She wanted to stay there with me. I was like, Mom, this is a men's shelter here, you got to go. And I tell you what, man, when I walked through those doors, it was like somebody had set me free. I had this relief all of a sudden. It was like I had dropped all the bags I had been carrying around with me all these years, man. I had a ton of bricks with me. I had a ton of guilt, shame, and remorse that was just with me all the time. Hey, man, can't you keep that baby quiet back there? Hey, man, you messing up me up here, man. Come on, man. I can't even concentrate up here. I ain't never heard of such a baby. Bring that baby up here to me, man. Yeah, so, I got into rehab, and I sat down there, and they took my blood pressure, and it was like 215 over 120 or something like that. And the guy says, Lamon, you feel all right? I said, man, I feel like a freaking $1 million. And he was like, well, do you know where you are? I was like, yeah, I know where I'm at. He said, son, you were in detox. And I said, let me tell you something, bud. I am so happy to be here. I am so happy to be here, man. I said, you just don't even realize I am happy to be in this place. And he was like, you know something? Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I said, yeah, man, just tell me what I got to do, because I do not want to return and go back out that door the wrong way. You know, when I leave here, I want to get what it takes to stay sober. And I'm going to tell you what, man, I was there for 1 year and 2 months. And what's crazy is I was in there about a week, you know, a week or week and a half, and you can't see anybody for that time. And my mom came and got me for like a Saturday visitation. We went right straight to the psychologist. What's wrong with my son? I went in there, and the guy was, he's doing all this stuff. I'm like, look, dude, I'm a drug addict. You know, and he's like, oh, we're going to test. I said, I am a drug addict. And he's like, okay, I got you. So anyway, long story short, he says to my mom, your son needs long-term rehabilitation, at least 1 year. And I was like, man, this guy's lost his freaking mind. I ain't staying in rehab for 1 year. And I got back to the healing place of Wake County and went up there and talked to one of the CEOs, you know, like the big shot. I thought I was something special in there, man. See, what you don't realize is how sick that I didn't realize how sick that I really was. You know, I never really realized how bad I had gotten until the gun episode. Now, I was about to kill myself. So things pretty bad, I guess. But I started to wake up at about 3 months. You know, I started waking up a little bit to the fact that, man, I am a sick puppy. And now that I've been clean for 7 years, man, I know I'm still sick as hell. You know, it's crazy how those thoughts and those things will come back to you, you know, because once you cross that line, there is no going back. It's there with you forever. At least it is for me. You know, there's that stinking thinking. It'll come back to me in a second, man. I mean, I can get it in the fast lane going down the highway. If somebody gets in my way, I'll get sick thinking. You know, I'll be trying to trade paint with somebody out there real quick. You know, like, man, he don't get out of my way. You know, I got things I got to do. And, you know, that's I got character defects like everywhere. And it sucks, you know, because I want to be normal. You know, you ever know that guy always had the peace of mind and knew where he was going and knew what he was doing and just, he had it going on all the time. That's the guy I wanted to be. And I could never be that guy. I had always some kind of drama going on, some kind of lie I had told that kept me not looking guys in the eyes, you know, not shooting them straight. You know, I would try to bend and curve and move and, you know, shuck and jive to try to get around telling the truth. And those things carry on with me despite my decision to get sober. But, you know, I think it really wasn't my decision. It was something that Jesus had to do with. I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit, Jesus, or the whole, you know, some kind of angel or something, but something touched me, you know, that night that I decided to quit all that nonsense, because it's really insanity, man. You know, it's crazy how insane things get when you're in the midst of all that. But after I got out of rehab, you know, I had learned a lot. One of the best things that ever happened to me is I got a sponsor. And he'd been sober for about 27 years, man. I mean, when I first met him, I don't even think he took any steps. He kind of just floated in the room. I was like, man, he's something special. And I wanted what he had, because he had all the things I wanted, man. He's successful and this, that, and the other, all the things I saw. But, you know, I never saw what was really important in life. It's not measuring a man by his monetary means. It's measuring him by who loves him and how they love him and how they migrate towards him in times of difficulty. You know, I never saw any of that till later on. But I did my fifth step with him. And we were in a chapel. And we were going to say a prayer together. And he reached his hands out like this, said, Lamon, hold my hands. I said, I said, hang on just a second there, Pops. I ain't trying to hold your hands there, bud. You know, I was like, I don't know about all that. And I got uncomfortable, man. You know, I was like, man, You know, I had one incident like that before in my life. I was a lifeguard down at Riceville Beach, and this guy had dropped a battery in a boat. And it electrocuted him, and it killed him. So I was the first one on the scene. And I pulled him out of the boat. First, I cut the electricity off. I pulled him out of the boat. I went down there to do mouth to mouth on him. And until you get there, buddy, I can tell you right now, putting your mouth on another man's mouth is something, it's difficult. I was like, oh. I said, you going to die, cuz. I said, yeah, man, I ain't going to tell you that you going to, I don't know if you're going to make it. And, something came over me. Something came over me, and I got past it and did what I had to do. And it was a rough day for me, I mean, the guy threw up in my mouth 2 or 3 times. It was a tough day, And, that 5th step, man, it woke me up to the fact that I hadn't dealt with a lot of this stuff that had gone on in my life. I didn't deal with it. I just put it off to the side. It'd be all right. I'll go drink a cold beer, forget all about it. And that's what I did. But in being reborn through this process, I learned a lot about myself. Because, see, I always portrayed myself as the big, tough guy. I'm all this and I'm all that, which really isn't the truth. I was always trying to be somebody that I really wasn't. And when you're trying to be that somebody, you're running down a dead-end street, man. Because God gave me gifts that He wants me to use to help others. And those gifts, when I get up to the golden gates and He says, Lamon, how did you use the gifts I gave you, to do what I want you to do with your little stint on earth? I want to be able to tell Him, say, look, man, this is what I did with what you gave me. And just start rifling off some things I've done for Him. Because that's what it's all about, really, You got to do His work. This is a path to Him. So don't get it twisted. This ain't the path to a doorknob. You know what I mean? And that's like they told me, look, Lamon, if you can't believe in God, just turn your life over to the people in AA. I said, have you lost your damn mind? These people got here just like I did. And you want me to turn my life over to them? I don't think so. Because I see a lot of people that don't believe, And what's really nice is when you go from believing to knowing. Believing is for the beginner. When you go from believing to knowing that Jesus is out there looking after you, that's when you start to develop. And development, man, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no better place than to be headed in the right direction and no looking back, It's like, I don't ever bring up things in the past, really, because it just drags me down. I don't like to get dragged down anymore. I like to keep on trudging through this life in a positive direction so that I can pass on what I've learned. So that maybe somebody else won't have to go through what I went through, man. Because I remember some times that were just absolutely just ridiculously. It's amazing how far down the sky. Man, y'all ain't got no water in here. I might have some water or something. Good God Almighty. That's whoo! I feel like I smoked a bong hit or something, man. Is it dry in here or what? Listen, boy, I tell you, that's a good boy right there. He got up quick, didn't he? Yeah, and I tell you something, man, I love to have a good time, Thank you, sir. Oh, my God, I'm going to chug this. Okay. You might put something in there, didn't you, Buzz? So let's see here. That baby's asleep, though, ain't he? Huh? Man, I tell you, I love everybody sleeping here if you let me. I forgot what I was saying, but I guess I'll pick up where, when we're transferring what we've learned to other people, I can tell you, I went to see this movie with my children. I got 2 boys, 15 and 16, and they're prickly little bastards right now, I'm going to tell you that. Be careful what you pray for because you might just get it, and I got my children back a couple years ago. I had one of them by the neck the other night, wondering why I did, I was like, good God Almighty. He's about this tall now, thinks he's just bad, And he wasn't real bad when I had him down there on the kitchen floor the other night, and it felt so good to me. I just, it's nice just to impose my will on him. And, I told him next time he come up there and try to get some of me, you better put a helmet on. He's going to come away from there bleeding. But we were watching this movie called Brave. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen it. It's an animated cartoon, but this little girl had put a spell on her mama. And this spell was going to become permanent at this certain time. And it looked like it was actually going to happen. And the little girl was just boo-hooing over her mother, which was a big bear at the time, And it was upsetting me. I was getting upset in there, man. And I looked over at my little boy. He's looking at me. I said, "Watch the movie, son." And others was looking at me too. I said, "What are y'all doing? Watch the movie." And they knew I was getting upset. My eyes were tearing up. And all of a sudden, man, that little girl just started, woo! And I'm like, oh, God, here it comes. And a tear, I felt it come out of my eye right there. Felt this tear roll down my face right there. And I looked at him, and my oldest son looked at my other son and said, "Look, Daddy's crying. Look, Daddy's crying." And I said, "Shut up." I was like, "Shut the hell up now." But it's kind of cool that I got emotions these days. It's kind of cool that I can feel like that again. I never felt like that, since I was 12 years old. I never really felt anything because I numbed myself to the point where I couldn't love anything. I was numb most of my life to everything that was important. The love of my children. I looked at them, I said, "Let me tell you something, boys." We got out of the movie. I said, "You know why I was crying in there?" And they said, "No, Dad, I don't know why you was crying. We weren't crying." And I was like, "That's because you didn't hurt your mama like I hurt mine." When that little girl started crying over that bear, I started thinking about what I had done to my mama. Because I tore my mama's heart out. Tore my dad's heart out. Everybody that I came into contact with, I hurt. And I hurt the ones I loved the most first and worst. Because, I couldn't see past my own selfish ways and the big fog bank that I had created around myself. I couldn't see past, me getting that next beer. I couldn't see none of that. But when I started to see it, and that man asked me to hold his hands in that chapel, and I reached out there to grab him, when I touched him, every hair on me stood up, man. I was like, holy, it was like I had chill bumps all over me, and I was just like, woo, something was happening. I'd actually come to the point where I was going to relate to somebody else. I was actually going to love somebody. I started to love another man. Because let me tell you something, loving another man, there won't no way in hell that was going to happen in my past life. I got some guys in my life I love today. And they love me back. And it's the best thing ever happened to me, because love just ain't never been a part of my game. And, I'm just real happy and real privileged to come up here and tell y'all that love is where it's at. Love is actually putting your life, if it was me or him, it'd be me. I'd say, you know what? I got you, man. You live on for me, because I'm going to die for you. And I think, if we head towards that direction, I think that's what it's all about. It's progression. You get a chance to get reborn in this. I was talking to some guy, been sober about 3 days. Hard to get rebirthed in 3 days. That's like I was talking to a guy the other day, he'd been sober for about a month. He said, "Lane, we the same." I said, No, we ain't the same, Chief. I can tell you that right now. I said, I got 7 years of sobriety. You got a month. I've been working on myself for 7 long, hard years, learning what's going on inside of me. There ain't no way we the same. We got a lot that we can relate about, but we ain't the same. And he kind of took that a little bit wrong. He didn't like what I was telling him. And you got to be careful with people that are new in the process, because I'm gonna tell you, they ain't ready for the truth. Most of them. I found out the hard way. Well, I run some sponsees right off, quick. So look, man, you know what? You a damn coward. Boy, they don't like that. But I was a coward. That stuff made me a beggar, man. I actually begged. I think about those things. That's what helps me stay sober on a daily basis. That, man, I'll tell you what, it's amazing the things I did and stooped to so I could get me another one. And I'll tell you what really helps me stay sober is that next one, it'll probably kill me. I believe death is at the doorstep if I go out there and do it again. Because I'm not young anymore. And I started all that mess. I was pretty young and strong and dumb. Now I'm old, weak, and wore the hell out. You're supposed to say, no, you're not, Lamon. But I guess where I'm headed with, man, is, when you get in this place where you've done the steps and you relate to other people and things are going pretty good for you, and that demon comes up again. And if you're not doing the right thing, the demon's going to win. If you ain't in that book, you ain't going to AA meetings, you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, he's going to tempt you with the most luscious looking stuff you'll ever see. For me, it's a hot woman and a bag of cocaine. I'm like, where are we going next, sugar? You know what I'm saying? And I've had it happen to me. On the job site, it had it happen to me, man. I was like just flipping right out. I was like, what? This can't be happening to me. And it made me sick on my stomach, man. That's how bad that craving got for me. I was like, God knows, man, what am I going to do? And through preparation and thinking about doing the right things all the time, it was just natural for me to turn away and say, I'm all set, appreciate it anyway. But if I hadn't been doing the right things, man, I'd have been gone right then. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you think you got this? You don't never got this, man. This thing right here is no joke. You play with it if you want to, you end up dead. I'm just a miracle right here, man. I laid in the bed at night, my heart about to come out of my chest going, please just let me live through this. Just please let me live through this, man. I've been snorting cocaine for 3 or 4 days, drinking liquor, just doing everything. I should have died, man, when I got on that stuff in I tried that thing, it was 1998 when I took my first hit of cocaine. And I'm going to tell you what, man, my life changed from that point on. And I know this is an AA meeting, but, it's time to get honest for me. I got to tell y'all honestly what the deal is. And honestly, my life from that point forward changed. And that's just a miracle I'm standing, because I was making about $80,000 a month when I got hooked on it. When you're making that kind of money and get hooked on crack cocaine, man, it's deadly. See, I never ran out. I start hallucinating, and I said, well, man, what in the world's going on? I'd black out, wake up about 18 hours later and go, whew, Lord. What happened to all that crack I had? Then people were glad I passed out. Anyway. So, I think the thing about it is when you look back on those things and you go, there is no controlling it for me. And I know it. And, I see so many people go back out there because they just don't care. Me, I care today about what I got going on. I care about Lamon. I love me. And if I hated me like I did back in the day, I'd be going back out there. I think being happy in your own skin is a big deal in this process. If you ain't happy in your own skin, you're doing something wrong. And I've been there in sobriety, been unhappy and miserable. And that sponsor, I've had the same sponsor the whole 7 years. I had the same guy, and I called him up. I said, man, I am miserable. Why am I miserable? He said, you ain't doing something right. I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm going to meetings. I'm doing this. I'm helping out. I'm, talking to alcoholics. He said, did you hit your knees this morning? I said, nope. He said, why don't you start right there, buddy? Start right there. Keep things simple. And I started getting better when I did that because, I wasn't doing that. And I really never have done it. But I did it for a few days. About 2 or 3 days I did it. Humbled myself in the mornings first thing. And it helped me. Another thing that helps me is don't think about that first drink, man. Think about that last one. That'll help keep you sober too. Because, I tell you the things that help me keep sober, and these are it. You just stay close in this AA, get in the middle of everything, and help somebody else, man. That's a good way to get out of your head. Just go out there and help somebody. I had some lady call me last night, and her husband was in the hospital, and my grass needs cut. I'm a landscaper, by the way. Y'all need your grass cut. Well, never mind. There's a damn hour down here. Good God Almighty. I'm taking up a diesel collection after this tonight, so y'all can help me with my gas money coming down here. But, I went and cut her grass today. It's kind of like, when I go to Walmart, man, I park out there in the middle of the parking lot. Let somebody else have them parking spaces up front. Let them old ladies have a parking space up front. And I get the cart out the middle of the parking lot and pull it up there for the guy. I just try to think about others all the time. I actually talk to God all the time too. It's like, God, why did you let that light turn red? I mean, you could have kept it green just for a minute or two longer, Because in my world, man, nothing happens by mistake. It's all part of God's plan. And that being the case, it's just amazing how your thinking changes. My thinking's changed. I've changed. Those steps changed me. Because see, I'm gonna tell you what, I was never. Because if you don't like if I don't like what I'm doing, I ain't gonna do it long. You best believe that. And when I first came in, I hated all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all were the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever been there? Because I've been there, and I hated everybody in there. It's like, man, these people are crazy, man. And what happened to me when I worked those steps, it changed me to the point where I love some AA, man. I love AA because, somebody said, well, I relapsed because I got complacent. I said, well, you don't get complacent if you love things. It's like I was never a complacent drinker. You can bet your ass on that, I drank because I love to drink. I did cocaine because I love to do cocaine. So if you're complacent in here, then probably you don't love what you're doing. And if you don't love what you're doing, you ain't going to do it long. At least that's my experience. And I never stayed sober because I didn't like staying sober. So, I think when you do the steps and it changes you and you become somebody different, being somebody different actually allows you to love a lot of things that you never thought you loved before. Because for me, I never thought I'd be who I am today. I'll never forget I was sober for 6 months. I hadn't seen my kids in 6 months. I had all these bad thoughts. I don't know about y'all, but my mind will think the worst. It's amazing how, it's like, God, man, my kids probably hate me, man. Daggone, I was in there miserable. They had me locked up tight, and I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do nothing. I went to my mom's house, and my kids were inside the house, and I was a nervous wreck. And I'm not a nervous kind of guy. I just kind of type B, take it easy, whatever kind of thing going on. Unless I get a beer in me, then I'm kind of the opposite. But I opened that back door of my mom's house, and my oldest son, come running through the hallway. Pow! Hit me in the leg. Daddy, I love you. Whoo! Boy, I was like, my eyes started watering up, man. I was like, oh, boy, here we go. I looked down and said, son, get off me. I ain't even got in the door yet. And, and here come the other one. Boom! Hit me in the other leg. Man, I tell you, that's where it's at right there. That's where it's at, man. That love right there is just the best thing ever happened to me. And, that kitchen floor was the best thing ever happened to him the other night. I was showing him some love. But the other one learned pretty quick, He didn't want to mess with Daddy. I showed him some love too. But let's see here. I guess I'll finish up with My life had no meaning. I had no meaning in my life. And a man without meaning is a man that feels worthless. At least that's my experience. I had no worth. I wasn't worth anything really, because I had no direction. I had no purpose. And I was just blowing through life like a tumbleweed pretty much. And so AA gave me a direction. Gave me a peace of mind can't no man take. No man. I'm passionate about what I believe because I got purpose. It's like I was telling y'all earlier about God giving me these gifts. I'm trying to use them for something that's going to help other people. Bring others to the kingdom. Show them what it's all about, man. Because this thing right here, it'll give you everything you want and then some. All you got to do is knock on the door and he'll open it. And, when you got purpose in your life, it produces passion. And people see it. They just know it. I was saying a prayer at the Golden Corral with my kids, and some guy walks up and said, "You a pastor? Man, have you lost your mind? You don't know me for sure, man. I'm a drug addict, But, it's kind of cool how, I've gone from being Lamon the hellraiser, alcoholic loser, to somebody that people respect. I got some respect going on in my community because they've seen the turn. I've made the turn, man. I've gone from being a taker to somebody that gives. And it's kind of like my selfish, egotistical ways. I was like, well, if I give, maybe I'll receive. Because I want to receive some stuff for all my giving. I want to be recognized. But the book tells me to try to do this without any trace of, no kind of arrogant thing going on. I try to relieve my arrogance because I'll get arrogant if I ain't real careful. And that'll turn an alcoholic and addict off as fast as anything. See, and I try to transfer this message with no arrogance, that I might represent somebody that Jesus would be proud of so that I can go out there and spread this message. Because the message is we can all get sober. But alone, you ain't never going to make it, man. It says in the book, without help is too much for us. And I know if you're like me and you're out there and you're suffering, it's a new thing to do. But ask, help me. Will you help me? Start practicing on your own. That's what I did. I got to start practicing this because that ain't something I like to do. It's kind of like saying sorry. I'm sorry in Spanish. I don't know how to do that. But I think that'll about do it for me. I appreciate y'all inviting me up here tonight, and I like y'all's clubhouse. Aberdeen's a great town. I saw about 3 buildings in it, and this being one of them. And that's it. I appreciate it. Thank you.